Have you ever heard of a man who knew more than the prophet Moses, a man of great wisdom and mystery? Imagine a time when the prophet Moses was on a quest for knowledge, seeking the wisdom of an enigmatic man named Al-Khidr. This is no ordinary story. It's a tale filled with lessons to be learned and mysteries to be unraveled. In a moment of humility, Moses approaches Al-Khidr, asking if he might accompany him on his travels to learn from his wisdom. Al-Khidr, a man of profound understanding, looks at Moses and issues a warning. He tells Moses that the path they would tread together would not be an easy one. He questions whether Moses could bear the journey with patience, suggesting that his ways may seem strange and hard to understand. However, Moses, in his quest for knowledge, is not deterred by Al-Khidr's caution. Despite the warning, Moses insists on following Al-Khidr, thus beginning their intriguing journey. Their journey begins, and soon they come across a boat that Al-Khidr damages, much to Moses' surprise. As our tale unfolds, Moses and Al-Khidr board a seemingly ordinary boat. But what happens next is anything but ordinary. Al-Khidr, in an unexpected turn of events, starts to damage the boat. The sight leaves Moses perplexed, unable to comprehend Al-Khidr's actions. He questions, "Why would you do this? The people who own this boat have shown us kindness." Al-Khidr, calm in the face of Moses' confusion, reminds him of his earlier warning. "Didn't I say that you wouldn't be able to bear with me patiently?" he replies. The words stop Moses in his tracks, reminding him of the promise he made. Unable to understand Al-Khidr's actions, but bound by his promise, Moses decides to hold his peace. Though confused, Moses continues his journey with Al-Khidr, promising to not question his actions again. Why, their journey takes a darker turn when Al-Khidr takes a life and later helps a town without asking for anything in return. As they continued their journey, Moses and Al-Khidr encountered a young boy. In an act that left Moses aghast, Al-Khidr took the boy's life. Moses, confused and horrified, could not help but break his promise and question Al-Khidr's actions. "Have you taken an innocent soul?" he asked, unable to hide his shock. Al-Khidr, however, reminded Moses of his promise to not question his actions until he himself chose to explain them. Later, they arrived in a town where the people were not hospitable. Despite their cold reception, Al-Khidr set about repairing a crumbling wall in the town, asking for nothing in return. Once again, Moses couldn't help but voice his thoughts. "If you had wished, you could have demanded a wage for it," he said, puzzled by Al-Khidr's decision to offer his help for free. Al-Khidr, seeing Moses' confusion, decided it was time to reveal the wisdom behind his actions. He explained that the boy was destined to grow up into a tyrant, causing distress and grief to his righteous parents. By taking his life, Al-Khidr had saved the boy's parents from a life of hardship and despair. As for the wall, it belonged to 2 orphans in the town. Beneath it was a treasure left to them by their righteous father. If the wall had collapsed, the townsfolk would have discovered and taken the treasure. By repairing it, Al-Khidr ensured that the treasure remained hidden until the orphans were old enough to retrieve it themselves. Moses, finally understanding the wisdom behind Al-Khidr's actions, felt a sense of relief. He realized that while some actions may seem unjust or confusing at first, there is often a greater wisdom that humans, with their limited understanding, may not immediately perceive. And so, Al-Khidr unravels the mysteries behind his actions: the boat, the boy, and the wall. These puzzling actions teach us the importance of trusting Allah's wisdom, even when we can't see the bigger picture. Just as Moses learned, we too must remember that every event in our lives, pleasant or difficult, is part of a divine plan. And thus, Moses learned that there is always wisdom behind Allah's plans, even if we may not understand them at the moment. A lesson for all of us to remember.